A massive earthquake rocked the world, causing dungeons to appear everywhere. These dungeons brought forth monsters that regular weapons couldn't defeat. Only those with special powers called skills could take on these monsters and level up their abilities. These skilled individuals became known as the Awakened. These powerful individuals who inspire both fear and respect became known as the Awakened. A level 4 boy named Kisaragi was fighting with a goblin monster. Trying to use his skill to imitate, he cut it with his sword. But he failed to copy his skill. With frustration in his eyes, he let his guard down. The goblin took this opportunity and jumped on him. Suddenly, someone using a fire spell saves him from the goblin's attack. "You shouldn't be struggling to kill a trash mob like that," says Todo Kakaru. A level 15 Fire Master. He's regarded as the shining star of the next generation of Awakened. The reason for that lies in his skill. Skills began to manifest in a selected group of humans at the same time the dungeons first appeared. They can determine one's rank and superiority as an Awakened. Todo orders Kisaragi. "Quit sitting there with that stupid look on your face, Kisaragi. Start retrieving the magic stones already." "Got it," Kisaragi replied. Flame Master is an extraordinarily powerful skill that allows Todo to manipulate fire at will. Then we have Kisaragi's skill, Imitate. After making physical contact with a monster, it allows a single use of that monster's skill. It lets me copy a monster's skill, but the success rate is extremely low, and it forces him to be put at risk by getting up close to the monster. It's a flawed skill. "Dude, how long were you going to take to clear the dungeon anyway? You can't even fight, and your skill is a complete trash. Why don't you give up already?" other members remarked. To-Do remarks, "Don't be like that. We're all comrades here, aren't we? Just try to make the most of your trash skill, big brother." With a frustrated face, Kisaragi's motivation was his sick sister, Mayu, whom he aimed to cure with a magical elixir only attainable through adventuring. The elixir is an omnipotent medicine that can cure any illness. Until he can get his hands on it, he can't afford to give up on being an adventurer. To-Do's friends ask, "So, what's our target for today, To-Do? We're not going to the boss room, are we?" "Our target is the monster's den." With a passionate look, Todo says, "We're going to loot all of the treasure for ourselves." In the monster's den, Todo was fighting with the goblins. After killing almost all of them, he leveled up from 15 to level 16. Kisaragi felt useless as Todo and his friends easily defeated monsters, denying him any chance to level up. If that's how it's going to be, then coming with them was pointless. Going further inside the den, they were extremely happy to find treasure, but Todo was still looking for something. He stood in front of the wall and blasted it. A door was hidden behind the wall, and Todo was excited to see the bonus room. They're usually filled with valuable and powerful items, but on the other hand, they're very likely to be rigged with traps. If you happen to run into a vicious trap, you could be instantly killed. Two party members ask, "What about the traps, Todo?" "Not a problem. I have a good idea," Todo replies. He walks towards Kisaragi and slaps him, causing Kisaragi to fall to the ground. Todo talks to him and says, "Sorry about this, Kisaragi. You are going to die for us." Kisaragi was confused. He couldn't understand what Todo was about to do. Other members say, "Wait, are you going to use Kisaragi to trigger the traps? Using your classmate as a guinea pig like that is pretty dark to do." "Dark? You can't be serious," Todo remarks. "I'm just finding a way to recycle a useless piece of trash." He throws Kisaragi inside the gate, and while closing it, he remarks, "Let's meet again if you manage to survive, Kisaragi." "You shameless!" While he was regretting joining them, a flash covered his eyes and he was transported inside a dungeon. After a moment of realization, he panicked because a white wolf was standing in front of him, and he was in the highest level dungeon, the Mythic Rank Dungeon. He stands up, trembling with fear. This is a joke, right? Is this place seriously a Mythic Rank Dungeon? You're telling me a trap inside a lower rank dungeon led me here? This isn't funny." Confronting Fenrir, thoughts rushed through his mind. "Both of my parents suddenly died one day. Mayu was the only family I had left. For Mayu's sake, I refuse to die in a place like this. He builds up the courage and rushes toward the Fenrir to attack. But he was so weak that the roar from Fenrir sent him flying. He regretted his decision to try to copy Fenrir's skill. He was desperate to survive, but looking at Fenrir coming towards him, he couldn't move and was ready to die. I'm sorry, Mayu. I am a pathetic brother, he remarks. Suddenly, a voice gushed in the wind. Sit! An overwhelming pressure forced Fenrir to the ground. A girl with silver hair appears and welcomes Kisaragi into her castle. It's a pleasure to meet you, she remarks. Kisaragi asks who she is. While ignoring the question, she says, You are in better shape than expected. I suppose it's still impossible as you are now. She touches his face and whispers, This is a present from me to you. Be grateful. Suddenly felt some changes in his body. A screen mentioned that his skill had evolved into a copycat. An immense amount of mana particles have been received. The level will now advance instantaneously. He whoops from level 4 to level 25, thinking he is suddenly leveling up, and contemplates, My skill evolved. What the hell just happened? The girl laughs and says, Well then, I'll be excusing myself now. Kisaragi questions, Please wait. Could you explain what... Interrupting him, she remarks, Use your new power to defeat him. Once you do that, you'll be able to leave this mythic rank dungeon. As she leaves, Fenrir roars. You're kidding, right? There's no way I could win against this monster, Kisaragi remarks. As Kisaragi blocks Fenrir's claw, his skill copies one of Fenrir's skills. Just as he was thinking about how he could fight that monster, he noticed that his copycat skill worked. I copied Fenrir's skill. Enjoying the journey so far? Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to keep the adventure going.